harmony, love, and the top psyche above. I'm Shula Salim, the Ghetto Prince Hakeem, leader of Manumi, and here to help you transform into your new you. Now let's go. Now today, right, we're going to talk about 3 key things that are valid, that turn you from a presenter to a performer when dealing with your internal and talking to women or being in relationships in general. This can be any type of relationship. This doesn't even have to be sexual. This can be friendship with people. This can be business partnerships with people. This can be a relationship with your own family, whoever, right? All right, so the 3 things that we're going to talk about is this. We're going to talk about the values. We're going to talk about boundaries. And then lastly, we're going to talk about, which is the biggest one of all, beliefs. Okay? So let's get into it. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is values. Why are values important to have? Well, everybody has values. Everybody values something. Even if you don't value anything, you value not valuing anything, right? So your values have a lot to do with who you are as a person. If you value money, most likely you're either going to be in a position to where you surround yourself by things that are plentiful with money or cost a lot, or do things that require a lot of money, or you might be in the opposite position. Now, how does this relate to being in relationships? How does your value relate to being in relationships, right? Well, let's just say it's a romantic relationship. Let's say if you're getting to know a woman. Your values are key because this is something that you can not only tell her, but you can show her this early on. And not showing her to impress her. You're not showing this to try to make her like you or get approval from her. What you're showing her is, this is what I value. And in your internal mind, you're going to be thinking, if she doesn't value what she's supposed to value, what she says she values, how could I mess with someone like that? Also, if I don't value something that she does, I have to be mature and man enough to say, I don't think I need to take this any further, right? Or, oh, I fuck with that. I value that. So just to give a couple examples of my values, I value in relationships ambition. You know, when 2 people could come together to be ambitious together, not just one person doing a thing, the other person doing a thing, and they just get together to be romantic. No, I value also co-ambition. I call it co-ambition. I know that I just made that up, right? So boom. Second thing is communication. Now, everybody said this. This is so cliche, right? Oh, I love communication. Oh, they have to be able to communicate. Well, communication is very simple, right? It's very simple to have as a value. Why? Can you imagine being inside of a relationship where you guys don't talk? You're damn near non-existent. Not only that, when you want to get into the deeper levels of communication, it's even about communicating how you feel, regardless of the person approves of it or not, regardless of the backlash or the response that you may get. And then thirdly, I think also, it's not all, but I believe thirdly, one of the most important things about communication and having that as a value is that when you communicate, the more that you communicate, and I'm not even just talking about with your words, I'm talking about with your body, I'm talking about with your actions, I'm talking about even with your thoughts on a subconscious level, right? The more you communicate, the better you'll get at noticing your patterns and behaviors. So for example, if I notice that every time I meet a new person, every time I go out and I meet a new person, what am I communicating? If I see somebody across the hall, let's say we're inside of or down the aisle, let's say we're in a grocery store and I see someone in the aisle and they look and I notice them, and we have that lock eyes moment, right? If we see each other, and we look away instantly, or we get very frantic, or hi. What does that communicate about yourself? What does that communicate about how that person makes you feel? Because it's always a response. Now, you don't choose necessarily how you feel. And you don't choose necessarily how someone can make you feel, but you can choose the response. Now, that's neither here or there, but in that situation, you see how valuing communication can make you stronger internally by noticing how you communicate and how other people communicate with you. All right, boom. So values. Second thing is your boundaries. Why are your boundaries so important? Well, this is simple. Anybody knows this, right? Everything has limits and restrictions. When you go to a basketball game and they throw it outside of the parameters of that big rectangle, what's that? Out of bounds. Same thing for a football game, right? There are boundaries that you have to establish as a man. I mean, this is just essential. This is just so essential because your boundaries will re-solidify your values. And each one of these play on each other, right? They build on each other. They're like a building, just building blocks on top of each other to make it more solidified and to make you more stronger and founded in yourself as a person. So, for example, right? Say if I have the boundary of someone respecting my time. What does that mean? Well, I have a date today. It's at 8:30. My boundary is you cannot show up without communicating or communicating, right? Before that you're going to be late. And the boundary of the time frame of before could be anywhere from 2 hours or 3 hours. Because if you call in last minute saying, hey, I'm going to be late, and then I hit you up and say, where you at? She's like, I'm just leaving the crib. I'll go tell her to stay home. Ain't nothing that good in the world. Ain't nobody's relationship in the world. You might as well stay home. If you had a date to be somewhere, and let's just say the place that you're going is at least 10 minutes away, and you just now called a person and say, I'm gonna be late, and we were supposed to meet at 8:30, and I look at the time, and it's 8:15. I mean 8:45, 15 minutes till, 15 minutes past, right? 8:45. What makes you think that person should respect you as far as your timing? That's going to look messy. It's going to look unorganized. It's going to like you devalue their time. So that's one of my boundaries, is to give you an example. And so what I would do is, if I were in a situation where a person was to show up or try to communicate that last minute, and they take more than 15 minutes to actually get there, I'm leaving. No ifs and buts about it, and I'm not communicating with them that I left. I'm straight getting my stuff and I'm leaving. That's a boundary that you have to have. Not necessarily my boundary, but you have to have boundaries, right? So another key thing about boundaries set the tone. Boundaries set the tone of what you will do, like I stated, and what you won't do. How far you'll go and how far you won't go. And we definitely have to establish these things as just individuals. There's certain things that people can limit and restrict themselves to. I may have a bedtime to get sleep because I have to go to work in the morning. I have to restrict myself to that time. Now, going over a little bit of when you're dealing with time as a boundary, it's a little different. But there are other boundaries, far as someone becoming extremely irate to the point it becomes physical violence with you. That's a big no-no for me. I don't do physical violence in relationships. I don't do domestic violence. I don't even like really hitting nobody for real. And I'm damn sure not about to hit my woman or someone I consider to love. How does that sound? So that's the second thing. All right, so boundaries. And we got the last thing here. This is a very, 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 very short video, but it's very important. This is very essential, especially this last one, right? Now, if you don't establish any of these, but one, you have to, absolutely have to, especially when dealing with relationships, especially with women. If you're a heterosexual man and you want to deal with the woman, that's my audience. That's who I'm geared towards. Develop beliefs. What are beliefs? Beliefs are not true. Neither are they false. Beliefs are not true. Neither are they false. Beliefs are neutral. Now, realistically, you want to set realistic beliefs. You don't want to say, I believe that I can get every woman I ever meet to like me. That's not a realistic belief, right? A more realistic belief says, no matter how I feel about the outcome, the desired outcome that I wish to fulfill, I will not focus on the results in a negative way. What I will do is I'll learn what I can do better, what I can do more of, what I can do less of, and what I shouldn't do at all. And I learned that from my teacher, Ross Jeffries. So, your beliefs are the literal foundation, the first slab of cement. When they're leveling the ground out, when you're building a home, that is that. It's to get everything else in line. And without that, you have no foundation for your home to stand on. Your beliefs are very important. Who I am is determined by me and me alone. You know how powerful a statement like that is? Just to chant, just to provide affirmations for you to yourself, and also to live it. And also to have your boundaries and your values back it up. Who I am is determined by me and me only. Not nobody, not you viewers, not the people watching, not the people thinking, why is he talking like this? Why does his head wrap look like this? Why is the back? Who I am and what I do is not determined by you. It is determined by me and me only. How powerful is that? Just saying that makes me feel like, damn. Because people respect you once you carry a certain energy, and your energy has to come from your beliefs. We talk about confidence a lot, right? They talk about confidence a lot in the community. How can you have confidence, but you don't believe you have things that a confident person would have? You haven't achieved anything yet. You haven't got certain desired results before. Hell, you've gotten the opposite. You've gotten quote-unquote failure, quote-unquote people pushing you away, or people clowning and judging you. This is why you must establish your beliefs. Like I said, your beliefs are the foundation. Your beliefs are like when you're making a bowl of soup, your beliefs are the bowls. They have to be solid. They have to be there for something to sit inside of and stand on. And then what you put inside, your values and your boundaries, they must reaffirm how strong your beliefs are. They have to. So there you have it. Three things that are essential to having good, healthy relationships with yourself, with other people like family, friends, associates, strangers, and especially in relationships to women or relationships in general. Once again, YouTube, harmony, love, top side key above. Shula Salim, the Ghetto Prince Hakeem, leader of my new me. Now I'll talk to y'all later.